Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's update on the 30-gallon mixed reef. This is just going to be a normal update on the tank because I haven't done a proper update talking about the tank for quite a while. I've just been doing these short little videos. So I've got a lot to talk about really. Quite a few things have been happening with the tank, and there is quite a couple of issues that I want to talk about as well. So to kick it off with the latest, about an hour or two ago I was about to clean out my filter sponge, which I do every in between 3 and 5 days, because that's the amount of time it starts getting really dirty. So I went to clean it out, put my hand in there, and I saw there was a fish in the filter, in the internal filter, which is right here, the internal box on there. I was just sitting on top of the sponge. So to get it out, I had to get another sponge to block it because there's these holes at the back where it can get to the heater and the return pump area. It kept on going back there, so I kind of trapped it in that little top compartment there, so it can't go anywhere. And then we kind of just flipped it back into the tank. So not a massive issue, but it's obviously happened during the night. Maybe it's had a little bit of a scavenge with another fish, or it's been a little bit shocked by something during the night, and it's jumped over, and there's a little hole in the lid of the internal filter, and he's probably landed on top of the lid and kind of like flipped through the hole into the internal filter. A very, very rare thing that's going to happen with this tank. That will probably never ever happen again. He's probably been in there for about 4 or 5 days, because now I think about it, I don't think I've seen him for about 4 or 5 days. I don't inspect the tank every day, so I just got to keep an eye on that, make sure that doesn't happen again. But it probably won't. It's one of those things that's, you know, it's never ever going to happen again. But I have had some history with that fish jumping into my filters. Before, in my nano tank, my 50-litre fluval tank, my sapphire damselfish, which is this blue fish here, he jumped into the rear three-chamber filter twice. Once I had that, throughout the whole time I had that tank, which is surprising actually, because it's a damsel. Damsels don't really jump, and there was only a tiny gap it could really get through. So I'm surprised that happened, but we probably won't get it again. But yeah, that's the latest. Also, and the outlet nozzle for the filter, which is that right there, I've tilted towards more out into the tank instead of on top of the surface. You can still see the surface is still a little bit ripply, so there is still a little bit of agitation. But what it does, me doing that, is it's calmed down the shimmer in the tank a little bit. I don't like anything too crazy in the tank. I want it just to calm it down a little bit more. And also what it's done is, you can see the GSP on the back wall there. It's got a much nicer, calmer, gentle movement instead of a more crazy kind of really erotic movement to it. So it's a little bit more gentle, a little bit more. It's still perfect flow. It's growing absolutely really quickly. So it's growing all the way up to the top of the surface. So what it's going to do now, it's going to come out to the sides. You can see the extra growth here and here. So it's going to fan out onto the sides and leave a big green strip at the top. So that'll look really nice once it's fully expanded out. As for the Cyanobacteria, which is the main issue which I'm really focusing on at the moment, you can see all this red in the sand. That's all cyano. There's loads of it on the rocks. All the red you can see on the rock, all over here, that's all Cyanobacteria. To reduce, well, what's kicked it off is overdosing of vibrant and elevated nutrients. My phosphates were at like 0.809 area for maybe quite a few weeks. But I've managed to drop them down to 0.0302, which is perfect level. I want to try and keep it there. And by doing that, I've done 2 very large water changes, and I've started to put in a chemical filtration, which is RoaPhos, which is really supposed to help reduce those phosphates in your tank. And I've had great success with that already, and it's only been in there for about a week, maybe 8-9 days or something. And it's really had a massive impact on lowering the phosphates. So if you want to lower phosphates, get some RoaPhos. It's some really brilliant stuff. So that's the main issue I want to be focusing on to reduce. If I can't get rid of it by lowering the phosphates and reducing the dose of vibrant, I'm going to have to dose in some, it's something RX, a Cyano RX, which is made by Blue Aqua, I think. something like that, blue aqua, aqua blue or something, which is supposed to knock it out within 48 to 72 hours. But it is a little bit pricey. It's about nearly 20 quid, £17 I think it is. It's very expensive, but it's supposed to be really effective, and also effective at reducing hair algae, which you can see all the green, all of the rocks. That's kicked off by elevated phosphates as well, but now I've dropped it down, it should start to die off. But I am still dosing the Vibrant, which will clear it up a little bit. I've reduced that to once every other week instead of twice per week. I was dosing it heavy to try and clear up this hair algae, which it was doing, and it's reduced that, and then cyano's kind of kicked it in. So if you overdose Vibrant, Cyanobacteria does kick in. As for Aptasias in the tank, you can see at like the middle of the screen there, above that ras there, there's a big Aptasia. I'd say there's about minimum 40 Aptasias in this tank. There's lots of Aptasias, and I've got nothing to clean it up. I can't put a fish in there because the tank's not big enough really. I could put in a filefish, but I hate the look of them. They got no colour whatsoever. You'll never see them, and it's quite, you know, they get to a decent size. It's going to add quite a bit of bioload, and I don't really want to go down that route really. There's copper bands, but again, the tank's too small. There's solutions you can use, as in I was using anti-Aptasia, but that doesn't permanently get rid of it. It just, because there's always going to be that one underneath a rock or something that you don't see or don't get, and then it's just going to spore off and keep repopulating. So I want to put something in the tank, a creature that's going to eat them. So I can't put, there's a type of nudibranch you can put in that will eat them. I think that will probably work, but you can't put them in with wrasses because wrasses will eat them. So the only thing that I can put in is peppermint shrimps. I've already got one in here, but it's not enough. I'm probably going to add in an extra 5 or 6 of them in there. Once they come back in stock, I think it's because of this whole coronavirus thing that's going around at the moment. It's reduced the stock on the certain things you can't get in stock. One of them being peppermint shrimps anywhere, local fish shops, online, you can't find them anywhere. So as soon as I can see them on stock somewhere, I'll get a bunch of them, get them in here, and hopefully that will probably clear it up. I think that'll do the trick. This candy cane coral, you can see in the middle of the two branches there. There's a little bit of a white. That's bleaching. I think it's got STN, which is it's basically stripping its flesh off, but at a very, very slow rate. Well, to be honest, recently it's been really slowed down. Like maybe it's paused, maybe it's starting to reverse, maybe it's coming back. I don't know. It's got nothing to complain about really. The light's fine, flow's fine, parameters are even better now. So I don't know why it even started to do this. Maybe it was the phosphates being too high. Maybe there's too many nutrients, too much food for it. I'm not really too sure, but everything else is fine. It's just that's really not happy, and it's quite a hardy coral, so there is a chance it could bounce back, which I think it will do, because it's the rate it was bleaching, it's kind of really slowed down, like to a point where it's almost stopped, which is a good sign. That's a sign it could be reversing. So we'll see what happens over the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this thing comes back, because it's quite a nice coral. It would be nice to keep this. Another thing I really want to deal with is pulse coral. There's this little bunch here. I want to get rid of that. It might be next video, maybe some point this week. I'll probably do a video on it, removing, fragging pulse coral. There's a couple bits down here. There's one there. There's a couple heads down there. And if we see on this side of the tank, there's a bit there, there's a bit there, there's loads of little bits. If you frag it inside the tank, one head, like one polyp, starts floating around the tank, and then it just takes foot on another bit of rock, and then it will just repopulate there. So that's what's happened. So I want to clear all these bits up, which I might do some point this week on camera, fragging all this. I'll show you how I do it. And on the frag rack, you see all these corals here, which there's a lot of hair algae on here, but they are coping with it. This coral here with the green, that's forest fire digi. It's still recovering. It's probably going to take quite a few months. It's very, very damaged. I want to glue this, which I will do another. Well, actually, I might be in the same video as fragging the pulse coral. I think I might glue it down here somewhere, or in that little hole somewhere, because I want to put that in the tank really, try and get it a little bit more flow. I was just getting plenty of light there, maybe even too much. That might be the issue, why it's not recovering as quickly as I want it to. So move it down to reduce the light, which somewhere in the middle of the tank, which would be getting about 250, 300 par area, and much more flow. That might help it recover. So as for stock in the tank, fish and coral, last month I did say I wanted to get a big shipment in of corals, but since the cyanobacteria, I thought I was going to get rid of it. I did have a plan, but it got rid of most of it, but it's peaked its head in. Again, it didn't quite get. It got rid of 95% of it, but to get rid of it, you have to get rid of 100% of it. It's got all clear out. If you get one little bit still left in the tank, it's going to just repopulate. So I can't really add corals in until this is all sorted out, and I would like the hair algae reduced before I start adding corals. So I want to add some more zoas, which will be my main, well, the first thing I'll be doing, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5 frags of, well, 5 different species of zoas all around this rock here, which I want to get maybe an extra 4 or 5 of them around this rock. Once they've all grown in together, the amount of colour on this rock will be really, really nice. It will definitely be the main focus point of the tank. So that'll be the first thing I get, and then might consider some macros depending on how well the tank's doing at the moment, because I don't want to add, start adding loads of money's worth of macros in, and since they're quite a hard coral to keep and very fussy, I'm not too sure if they'll do so well, so I might just add the zoas and then just hold back on stuff like SBS corals. And as for fish, I do have 4 wrasse, 2 clownfish, 1 damsel, 1 blenny. I want to add in a pistol shrimp and goby pair, maybe a watchman goby or hyphen goby, orange spot goby, something like that, something small that isn't going to kickstand around. Try and get them paired up. Because that's a really fascinating thing to watch. They kind of pair together, and then they kind of build their own home. The goby guards the shrimp, and it's just really fascinating thing to watch. So I want to try adding a pair of those in when I can. Maybe another wrasse. I think I might add in another wrasse, make it up to 5, and then maybe something else, maybe another blenny or a not really too sure what to add. But there will be about maybe 10, probably aim for about 10 fish in here, because at the moment there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8 fish in here at the moment. So I might add 1 or 2, another wrasse, maybe another goby. I do have a massive skimmer on here, so a very powerful skimmer. That will help with nutrients, so that will be able to cope with quite a lot of bioload in the tank. So this video, I know it's quite a long one, but there is quite a lot to cover. I just wanted to explain all this thing. One last very quickly, we've had a death recently in the tank, which is very annoying. It's only something small. It's the shrimp. No idea how it's happened. Probably by the cyano. It's probably gone to try and eat a bit, and it's kind of poisoned it, maybe killed it. The same thing happens with snails as well. So if you do have cyanobacteria, remove your snails, because they will start eating it and it will poison them, and 70% of them will die. So I think that's what's happened with my peppermint shrimp, because he was in that cave, but he's not anymore, because he's dead. Annoyingly, I might replace him in the future, but I'm going to be getting a pistol shrimp as well. So I'm not really too sure what to do about that. But it was only a shrimp, as long as it wasn't a fish, and it wasn't massively expensive. So if one thing was to die in the tank, I'd probably choose that shrimp. It doesn't really come out that much. It kind of just hangs about in that cave, but it was a cool little feature. It's annoying he's no longer in the tank, but might replace him over the next few months. Alright, so 14.5-minute video, very long one, apologise for that. I'll see you guys next week with probably maybe a video on my dad's tank. I want to get that done this month. Also maybe a fragging video of the pulse coral, and I might glue these corals down. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.